everyone, it's Debbie. Today I have a what sold video and it is also going to have 3 haul updates. So I have 17 items that sold. I'm going to update a haul that is 10 months old from the Goodwill Outlet Center. I'm also going to update my high-low haul. I had an update after 1 month to let you know how it was doing. I've sold 6 more items so you can really see some changes in the high versus low. And I had one sale that sold for a gross amount of $185. So the numbers are getting really interesting on that one. And then the haul where I had the Duluth heirloom gardening overalls, that one has been 2 months now. So I had some great items sell from that haul. So let's start with a Goodwill Bins haul that was 10 months ago. I purchased 28 pounds of clothing at $1.19 a pound, plus 3 pounds of housewares. I spent a total of $36.29. It took me 1 hour and 13 minutes to shop, and I purchased 35 items. A little reminder about that haul, it had the Diara blue Rana dress that I made a profit of $55.20. That was a really exciting one. I had the vintage towels, they were like cross-skill towels that profited $21. There was a ruby ribbon bra that sold really fast that made a profit of $18.40, and a pair of Zagora hot pants that made a profit of $18.50. So those were some of the items from that haul. The main thing that I remember about that haul was I found this dress and I had it on my thumbnail, and it was the brand Colada. I had never heard of it. I could not find anything on it. It was so unique that I just had to pick it up. I titled the listing Colada Couture Beaded Gown Prom Dress Navy 3D Flowers Mermaid Fit Large 12 14, 16. It did not have a size tag, but I estimated based on measurements what sizes it would fit. It sold for $105.97. My earnings after the fees and postage were taken out was $64.18. I paid $4.19 at the Oklahoma City Goodwill Bins. It was $1.19 a pound, so that's what, like 3.5 pounds for that dress. It was a heavy dress, and my profit was $59.99. It took 6 months and 23 days to sell. I had 2 more items that were a couple of the last things to sell, and I thought they would do better. One of them was a vintage Shadowline nylon camisole. It was so pretty. It actually got a lot of attention, but it just sat and sat and sat. It had been 9 months and 22 days, and finally it sold for $10. My earnings were $7.05. My cost of goods was 10 cents, so I made a profit of $6.95. I was ready to just let that one go. A lot of times when I pick up things like that at the bins, they sell great. I don't know why this one did not sell well. It was size 32, so I think maybe I should have put fits small or fits small 4-6 in the title. Now that it sold, I thought, well, why didn't I do that? I should have done that. But it still sold and added to the total. And there was an Alfred Dunner sweater that I should not have picked up. I have sold a lot of Alfred Dunner pants and they have done okay. I saw this Alfred Dunner sweater. It was a size 2X made in the USA, patchwork, and I thought, oh, I'll give this a try. But very little attention, sat and sat and sat. So after 9 months and 15 days, I went ahead and sold it on Poshmark for $9. My earnings were $4.55. My cost of goods was $1.37, and my profit was $3.18. So at that point, when it's been that much time and I see there's not a lot of activity, I'm just happy to sell it, and it still adds a little bit to my total. I move it out, learn a lesson, and move on. I still have 3 items left, which I'll show you what has not sold in just a moment. But my total so far, selling 32 items out of 35 items, have sold for a gross amount of $828.06. My earnings were $527.03, so that's how much money's been deposited back in my bank. My cost of goods was just $36.29, and my profit on this entire haul is $490.74. So you can't beat that. That's really good to invest $36.29 and have a profit of close to $500. I think I estimated that this haul would make like $520. So if I sell those last three things, it will be almost there. But I'm not really confident in these last three things. I had a video lately and I was saying that I was doing haul updates and the items that don't sell. It's funny because in the videos, I say things that I know I shouldn't have picked them up. And these are some of them. I picked up this cute little, I'm not gonna take it out. It's this cute little mud pie dress and I picked it up because it was just so cute. Well, guess what? 10 months later, it still hasn't sold. I probably shouldn't, but sometimes I just can't resist the little baby clothes. Isn't this cute? And it's corduroy. I thought it was precious. Mud pie, so you know, I bet I'll make $3 or $4 off of it, but I just thought it was adorable and I like picking those things up. I consider that hobby time. I know I'm not going to make a lot of money on it, but I just enjoy listing those things. And then there's this little romper, it's called Illy Lily, and it was so soft and so cute, but 10 months later, it hasn't sold either. Baby outfit, so cute. It's tie-dye with leopard print trim, so I thought that was adorable. And it's the brand Illy Lily. This one will just make a few dollars, but I had to pick it up and it's so soft, so cute. And then this dress, I picked it up. It's Romeo and Juliet sequin dress. And I thought, well, I'm not really sure. I've had luck with a couple of Romeo and Juliet items. So I thought the bins, I'll just try it. But it hasn't sold yet, but maybe it will pretty soon. So hopefully I will get up to $500 total profit. Overall, to spend $36, only spend a little over an hour shopping, listing 35 things and making over $500, I would call that haul a success. Next, let's look at my high-low haul. So I had an update after 1 month. I'll pop up the summary of it. This is where we left off at the end of the 1 month update. It has now been 2 more months. So let's see how these numbers have changed for the 3 month update. And I had the best sell of all. And this came from the high category. It sold on eBay. I titled the listing Alamore the Label, black formal gown, small, strapless, glitter, and I think it's Ayelet, A-Y-E-L-E-T, evening dress. It sold on eBay for $185.46. My earnings were $147.15. I paid $9.99 at my regular Goodwill, and my profit was $137.16. It took 3 months and 22 days to sell. So now I had picked up 2 of those dresses by that same brand that day. They both sold now, and that was an unbelievable profit. And you'll see that helps my numbers on the high cost of goods go up quite a bit. Just a quick reminder, if you're new and not subscribed, I'd love to have you back. Just hit the subscribe button down below, and if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. The next one was a brand that was new to me, but the comps looked pretty good. It was DU/ER Performance Denim Jumpsuit, Women's Small, Jean Zip Up, Cropped Small, Blue, and then I wrote out DUER without the slash in the middle in case someone searched that way. I thought these would have sold for a little bit more, but they just weren't getting a lot of activity, and it could have been the season that they were listed in. Probably now would be a better time for them to sell as the weather starts cooling off. But I received an offer for $40. I calculated it and I thought, I'm going to make about a $22 profit on that. I will take it. So they sold on Poshmark for $40. My earnings were $32. This came from the high cost of goods items. It was $9.99 and my profit was $22.01. It took 2 months and 22 days to sell. The next one was another one from the high cost of goods side, and this one was in my recent ship with me, so I won't go over everything because I just did in the ship with me, but it was the Pissarro Nights gown. It sold for $53.38. My earnings were $35.25. My cost of goods was $15.49, and my profit was $22.76. It took 3 months and 2 days to sell. So 3 more items in the last month from the high cost of goods, and then I had 3 items this past month in the low cost of goods category that sold. The first one I'm going to share came from the low cost of goods, but it was actually a really good profit. I titled the listing Michael Starr's Ribbed Midi Dress, Women's Medium, Orange Sleeveless High Slit. It sold on eBay through the international shipping program to somebody in the UK. And if you ever sell international and you want to see where they are from, you just go to the order details page and you'll see their username. I have it blurred out on their order for privacy. Click on that and it will pull up a page at the top. It shows where they're from. So it's cool. You can find out exactly where that item is going to. When my kids were little, we would always look it up and find it on the map. So that was always fun. It also shows the total amount that they actually paid. I had not seen that before, but that's neat to know how much they actually paid, because when I go to the order details for that item on my page, it's showing that the gross sales amount is $54.97, but they actually paid more than that. So I am counting the gross sales amount, though, for these purposes of $54.97. My earnings after all the fees and postage were taken out was $31.42. My cost of goods was just $1.29. It was a Monday, so all 10 of the items from that haul that were on the low cost of goods side were the oldest color tag that was $1.29, and my profit was $30.13. It took 1 month and 15 days to sell. The next one sold on Mercari. It was also one of the items from the low cost of goods. This was the Ralph Lauren one-piece swimsuit, swim dress, women's size 12, halter strap. It didn't sell for a lot, but it still sold. It sold for $13.01. My earnings were $11.15. I paid $1.29 and my profit was $9.86. It took 2 months and 25 days to sell. Then this one was in my latest Ship With Me also, so I won't go over it a lot since I already did in the Ship With Me. It sold on Poshmark. It was the limited blue dot faux wrapped dress, and it was a size small. I picked this one up because I kind of thought I would keep it for myself, and I thought, if it doesn't work, I'll sell it. It didn't look good on me, so I decided to sell it. It sold for $14. My earnings were $9.55. I paid again $1.29. It was one of the low cost of goods items, and my profit was $8.26. It took 3 months and 12 days to sell. So now on this haul, to update it, 15 items of the 20 have sold. My total gross sales amount so far on the first 15 items is $778.37. My earnings are $569.44. My cost of goods was $133.79, and my profit on this haul so far is $435.65 on just 15 items. So I'm really happy about that. Now, if we look at the low cost of goods versus the high cost of goods, the low cost of goods, I've sold 8 out of the 10 items for $192.92. My earnings on the low cost of goods is $119.47. I paid just $12.90 for those 10 items. So my profit on the low cost of goods side is $106.57. So, okay, not a lot. The high cost of goods though, I've sold 7 of the 10 items and I still have 3 good items left. The gross sales amount so far is $585.45. My earnings, or the money I've received back in the bank from those high cost of goods items, is $449.97. My cost of goods for the high cost of goods items was $120.89. So my profit on those items is already $329.08. So the more items sell, the more I'm thinking the high cost of goods is the way to go. It's a lot less work. It's often the same amount of work to list something that profits $10 as something that profits $50. The difference is the time usually that I spend sourcing to find those higher cost of goods items and to be willing to say no to the items that are the lower cost of goods. Now, I still can find those $1.29 items like the Michael Starr's dress. It was just $1.29 and it profited $30.13. So I will do that all day long, but I need to remember to not pick up the items that I know are not going to profit a lot. And that's what I'm really trying to do, is improve my sourcing, spend a little bit more time sourcing so that I can list items that profit more. Then the last update that I have for you is my Duluth haul. I named this my Duluth haul because it's the one where I found the 4 pairs of the Duluth gardening heirloom overalls that sold fast and for so much money. I had a what sold portion in that haul, and since then I have had 8 more items sell, and this haul is doing really well. Of the 3 hauls, this one has the highest profit so far. Shortly after I released that haul, I had a really good sell on Poshmark. It was the J. Crew Navy Herringbone Wool Blend Blazer, size 12, preppy. This was such a nice blazer. I chose to put this one on an AI model, and I loved the cover photo that it created. It sold for $64. My earnings were $49.70. My cost of goods was just $5. It was the half price color tag. Again, this was a haul from just my regular local Goodwill, and my profit was $44.70. It took just 16 days to sell. The next one sold on Depop. I titled this listing, JJ's House Chocolate Brown Maxi Dress. Fits like small/4. It was missing a size, so I just put what I thought it was. It also had a little hook and eye that was attached on the side of the dress at the top, and it was crooked. So I just took a picture and disclosed that, and it still sold just fine. It sold for a gross amount of $17.80. My earnings were $16.58. I paid just $1.29 at my regular Goodwill. It was a Monday, so that was the oldest color tag, and my profit was $15.29. It took 25 days to sell. Another Depop sell was this vintage Talbot's black corduroy shift dress. I put 90s minimalist pocket dress, size 12. I used an AI cover photo on this one too, and I thought it looked so cute. It sold for $20. My earnings were $18.82. I paid just $5. It was another one that was the color tag that was half price that day. My profit was $13.82, and it took 30 days to sell. The next one was a linen dress that I found while I was shopping, and I couldn't see what the brand name was. There was this string that was wrapped all around the tag, so I couldn't read what it was, but I looked inside the dress. There was a tag that said made in Italy, 100% linen. So I thought, even if I don't know what the brand is, it was $5. It was the half price color tag. I thought made in Italy, linen, I think I can make a profit off of this. It sold on eBay. I titled the listing Rose Marine 100% linen dress, size small, made in Italy, blue eyelet embroidered. I also noticed when I was listing it that there was a little wear at the front V of the dress, so I noted that also, but it still sold for $29.83. My earnings were $16.33. I paid just $5, and my profit was $11.33. It took 17 days to sell. The next one sold on Poshmark. This was a Nicole Miller skirt, and I had the haul, and when I was going through and editing the haul and popping up pictures, I noticed I forgot to cross-list the skirt. So it had been listed on eBay. I start on eBay, and then I cross-list to the other platforms, but I hadn't cross-listed it to any of the other platforms. So I went ahead and cross-listed it, and it sold the same day on Poshmark. I titled the listing Nicole Miller 100% linen button front midi skirt, large terracotta drawstring. I used an AI cover photo on this one too, and I thought it was so cute. It sold for $22. My earnings were $17.60. My cost of goods was just $7.49, and my profit was just $10.11. I think I got a little overly excited that someone sent an offer the same day that I listed it, and I took it thinking that it was a $1.29 item, but that's okay. I still made a $10 profit. Another one that sold fast, but for not that much money, was an Athleta dress. I thought it would do well. It was an Athleta. The name was Santorini Thera dress, women's extra large, sleeveless, green, white, fit and flare. It sold for just $11 on Depop. My earnings were $10.09. My cost of goods was $5, and my profit was $5.09. It took just 4 days to sell. So what that tells me is I sold it too fast. I shouldn't have accepted such a low offer. I should have given it a little more time because I know it could have sold for more than that, but that's okay. So that was another little bit of a mistake, just getting excited to make a sale. Also during that time, I think we had several trips. And so sometimes when I go out of town and I haven't listed for a little while, everything is just dead. Sometimes I'll accept lower offers just to kind of get things moving again. So that might have been the case also. I was really happy about the sale of this dress. This was the Mabel dress. It was so pretty. It had all these 3D butterflies all over it. It sold on Poshmark. I titled the listing Mabel 3D Butterfly Applique Corset Dress, Small Fairy Core Cottage Core Lace Up. It sold for a gross amount of $38. My earnings were $28.90. I paid $9.99 and my profit was $18.91. It took 2 months and 2 days to sell. I just love that dress. I thought it was so pretty, so I was very happy that it sold. And the last one from this haul was a dress that I just wanted to experiment with. I thought it was a really cute dress and it was just $5. It was a half price color tag. So I had never heard of it, so I thought I'd try it. It was the 12th Tribe Black White Geometric Print Belted Shift Dress, size medium, and then I put mod chic. It sold for just $12 on Depop. My earnings were $11.12. My cost of goods was $5. So my profit on that one was just $6.12. It took 2 months and 7 days to sell. So on this haul, I have now sold 20 out of the 34 items, so I still have 14 items left to sell. My gross sales amount so far is $869.09. My earnings are $698.88. My cost of goods for the entire haul is $169.68, and my profit is already $529.20, and it's only been 2 months and 1 week. So this is a really good haul. I will be excited to update you again in a few months when more items have a chance to sell. So that is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy these videos and wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up or a hype, I've seen hype on videos a lot when I've been watching them now. If you enjoy this video and wouldn't mind hyping it, that would be really great too, because that tells YouTube that this is a valuable video and to give it a chance and send it out to more people. So I would appreciate that so much. And if you're new and not subscribed, I would love to have you back. If you just hit the subscribe button down below, and if you hit the notification bell, it will let you know when I release new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and everybody have a great day. Bye.